Hello and welcome back to Revit for Construction Managers. Today I want to focus in on, again, similar to the last video that I did, but what we're doing here is that we're looking at managing our project parameters. So we want to create a project parameter and then we want to add data into that project parameter. So in the construction industry today, a major element that needs to be constantly referred back to is the technical guidance documents. So the building regulations and the technical guidance documents. And what I want to do here today is see how we can create a project parameter for the building regulations and then add information into it from particular elements within our building. So in order to do this, I'm going to use my external wall again. So you remember this from the previous video, it's a basic wall. And what I want to do is, it doesn't really matter what element I put in because I'm going to create a project parameter. So I go to manage and I go to my project parameters. And I'm going to go to, there's a number of them there already set up, but I'm going to go to add. So I'm going to add and I'm going to click on project parameter. So it'll actually be set up as a schedule. So if I want it to be created in the schedule, it can be exported into a schedule. And that's very important for what I'm looking to do. So what I'm going to put in here is I'm going to put building regulations reference. Okay. And I'm going to put it in as an instance. And I'm going to put it in as the discipline as common. And here I'm going to the type parameter as a text, and under the group parameter I'm going to put it in under construction. Okay, so that means it will appear here under construction. Okay, so I'll go to construction, and then edit tool types. This will tell me what it is that I'm trying to achieve here. Okay, so I'm going to put this in as this element, or sorry, the part of the TGDs will be referred to in this section. Okay, so I've put that in as my tag, and then I'm going to check all, because this could have a bearing on any element of the building. Now, chances are it won't have a bearing on some elements, but it could have a bearing on a lot of elements. So I'm going to just check all, and then I'm going to go click OK. So that goes in there, and I'm going to click OK for that, and you can see there that construction and building regulation goes in there. And if I hold my cursor over there, it should the part of the TGDs will be referred to in this section. Okay, you can see, and that's the tool that I gave it. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to click on my external wall, and I say, okay, well, what part of the TGDs relates to external walls? Well, offhand, I'm thinking part A does, and part B does, and part L does. So I'd have to go to each one of those elements to find out what element actually refers to them. So let me just go into part L, and I've part L opened here. So I'm going to go into part L, and I'm going to drop down, and under thermal conductivity and thermal transmittance, I'm going to go to building fabric. Okay, so building fabric and fabric insulation, down to page 24. So I'll go down to page 24 here, and it goes through the technical guidance documents, so you need to read down through those in order to ensure. But here it's kind of like, this is fairly important. So 1.3.2.5, part L 1.3.2.5 is a table that shows that for walls, okay, so let me just see here, external personal doors, ground walls, we have our U value of 0.21. And reasonable provision would also be achieved in total heat loss through the roof wall, and does not exceed that, which would be the case if each of the area weighted averages U values of these elements set out in column 2 were achieved individually. Okay, so I'm concerned with this here, so it's 0.21 is my U value, and the section is 1.2, 0.3, 0.2, 0.5. So it's 1.3, 0.2, 0.5. So let me go back into my Revit drawing, click on here, and then I'm going into my building regulations here, and I'm going to go part L 1.3.2.5, and I'm going to click that OK there. Now what I want to do is I'm going to click on this again, and I'm going to edit type. And if you go into edit type, you'll see that it's actually okay, so there is a number of other elements in there, okay? But I now have that in there. Now, if I go into my ground floor plan and I click on any of my walls, so let's say even this wall here, and that's the same wall type. Okay. So if I go and click on my external wall over here, you can see that building regulations is blank, okay? So I have a problem. So if I click on this one here, it's part L 1.3.2.5, but I click on this one, so it hasn't transferred to every wall. It's only gone to the one that I've put it in. Now that's a problem, okay? So what I need to do is I need to go back into my project parameters. I need to go into my building regulations one, and I'm going to remove it because I haven't put it in correctly. So what I do is I'm going to put in and add a new one. So I'm going to put in building regulations reference, okay, and put it in as a type, okay. Then I'm going to put it in as a common type. The type of parameter is text, and the group parameter that it's under, I'm going to say it's construction. And then when I go edit tool type, I'm going to type in the reference here should come from the TGDs. And I know what that means. Okay. And then if I check all and click OK, now what I do is I go back into my section, I click on my wall, and I look down and I can't see the construction. So I say, where is it? I go to edit type, and you can see here building regulations reference. Now when I put this in, I go part L 1.3.2.5, okay, and then I click OK. And now when I go out to my ground floor plan and I click on a different section, then I can go edit type, and you can see there that building regulations reference part L 1.3.2.5 goes into place, and that reference to the building regulations is attached to my external wall that I've selected. If I wanted to do it for an internal wall, I would do the same thing. So again, I click on here, I go to manage, I go to my project parameters, and when I put in my project parameters, and then when I'm putting them in, I put them in as a type rather than an instance. Okay, I'd like you to use this in your project because it's very, very useful, and what it allows you to do is, and what I'll show in the next video, is how this can be exported to a schedule. Okay, I hope this is some help, and if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments on YouTube, or else you can just send me an email. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.